I counted. I sneezed exactly 47 times in a row before it stopped. So if I start sneezing again, it's going to happen. But before that goes through, let's talk about how much of a terrible week we had in week 5. And I'll try and get through this podcast as quick as I can. I'm sorry, these last few weeks have been terrible. First it was Smash Tournament, and I got sick at the Smash Tournament. So it's like, man, it's been rough. It's been a rough time. Well, we lost the first game. We picked Mad Lions over Misfits. I was wrong. I will say that I was completely wrong about Misfits being washed up. They definitely looked really good against Mad Lions, and they looked pretty good against Rogue as well, even though they lost. SO4 took down Vitality. I was pretty happy about that. G2 bounced back against Excel. We were good. Origin was always going to beat SK. No biggie there. Very disappointed with Rogue not being able to take down Fnatic. I really think they could have done that. Fnatic kind of stepped. It's like my power rankings for Fnatic last week were correct. My predictions were not. And so I should have just stuck with my power rankings and not picked them to be upset 2 times in the same week by Origin and Rogue. I just thought having both games on the schedule this week was not going to... was going to work out negative in their favor. Like, they wouldn't have been able to handle it. But they did very well, and I'm very impressed by that. Vitality got the very first win of the year against SK, because SK is hot garbage. SO4, my first loss with my gut all year long for any of the regions, it was SO4 upset over Excel. Basically every upset I picked with just purely based on gut, not on math or statistics, has been correct. This one was not. It was actually a pretty close game, but they got backdoored by Excel. And then Mad Lions at the end of the week going over and beating freaking G2. After losing to Misfits, they go on to beat G2, and G2 doesn't look good again. Like, what is up with G2? They've lost 3 games now in the last 4. Absolutely insane. I'm sorry if my voice sounds terrible right now. But, so, we lost 6 games. 6! We were on a 70% win pick rate, and now we're all the way down to 32 and 18. Do you know what 32 divided by 50 is? 32 divided by 50. It's 64%. We can't even call ourselves 66% pickers anymore. We're up to 70% for 4 straight weeks, and now look at us. Now we have to have a huge bounce back week, which I think we will. The predictions are gonna be very quick. I didn't even hide the circles because I've been trying. I'm sorry. Oh, man. I really hoped that me getting a bunch of medicine and everything would take out my cold quicker, but no. It just started. It's just absolutely started. I hate Smash players are the worst. Oh man, let's just look at straight up standings right now. We have G2 at 7-3, Origin at 7-3, Fnatic at 7-3, Misfits at 7-3, Mad Lions at 6-4, Rogue at 6-4. So there is a 1 game difference between 6th place and 1st. Also, weird to think about, I know. G2 is only 2 games out of missing the playoffs. They're only 2 games away from Excel, who's at 5-5. And then literally, so we have 7 teams. I would say that they're not mathematically, but they are absolutely eliminated. SO4 and Vitality and SK, I would say, are all mathematically eliminated. I just realized that I had SO4 and Vitality in the wrong positions. They were supposed to be 9th. They're supposed to be 10th. I got a little excited about the Vitality win that I counted it as 2. And that is not the case. But so for Europe, I would absolutely say that Europe is a 7-team race for 6 playoff spots. For sure. I think that SK, SO4, and Vitality are just not going. They've all beaten garbage teams, including G2 for SO4 now. SK's beaten SO4 and Team Vitality. Team Vitality's beaten SK, and SO4's beaten Vitality, and then G2. You know, which one of these is not like the other? You know. But man, outside of that, their only wins are really going to be against each other, and the rest of the league is just leaps and bounds better than them. which is good. It's good to see the team that doesn't look like Europe is at the moment a region that is only decided by simply like one team or two teams. Usually it's G2 is on there in the league of their own, and then Fnatic is on and like kind of right there as well, and then the rest of the teams are garbage. When we're seeing like Misfits, I think is probably for real. I think Origin is still like a very high level team. I think Fnatic's really good and G2's really good. And then you also have teams like Rogue and Mad Lions who are and Excel that can definitely punch above their weight for the most part. And I mean, I guess it's kind of disappointing for Rogue because we had Rogue as the third best team coming in the preseason, but they're only a game out of first. They're only one game there missing, and I think they would be there if it wasn't for Misfits having such a phenomenal year. Oh man, I am not doing great. Power rankings. Weirdly enough, even though we went 4 and 6, there was not a lot of changes, in my opinion. I just realized Excel should be a flat line. They're not a down arrow. But G2, I still believe, is the number one team, even though they're all tied. They are looking quite shaky, though. They are teetering on this with Fnatic's rise of beating both of Rogue and Origin this week. I thought that was very impressive by Fnatic, and I want to see Fnatic do. I believe they have a tough game against Misfits. Yeah, they have Misfits and then SO4, but they can beat Misfits, and if G2 drop either of their games this week, then I think I'm definitely putting Fnatic above G2 at this point. Origin number 3 still. I still love this team a lot, but they just simply lost to Fnatic this last week, so nothing we can do there. Misfits. Oh man, I'm struggling. Misfits are still number 4. They did beat Mad Lions, but then they ended up losing to Rogue. So I still believe they are the bottom of the 4 teams that are tied at first place. But I think they're kind of closer to the Mad Lions Rogue level than the Origin Fnatic G2 level. But they didn't fall as hard as I thought they were going to from last week. So they're proving that they're definitely a top-tier playoff team. I just think that they have a week here. Who are they facing? They're facing Fnatic, I know, and then SK. So we'll know for sure against their game against Fnatic. And then they have Excel and Origin. So yeah, really. But week 7, I will be fully on board Misfits. If they are 3-1 by week 7, or in the next 2 weeks, I will be absolutely sold on this team. And they'll be 10-4 to start the year with only 2 weeks left. It's pretty damn good, especially because you have Vitality and SO4 out of your 2 of your last 4 games. They'll automatically seal a playoff spot, I would assume, by that point. Oh man, my nose is all clogged out. But yeah, that was Misfits. Mad Lions at number 5. They couldn't move up even though they beat G2 because they lost to Misfits, and Misfits was the first team ahead of them. And then I didn't want to put them above Origin or Fnatic either. So it was like, wow, this is just like really tough. It is tough. Like, there is a big clump in EU between 1st and 6th place, I would say. I know Excel is only 2 games out of 1st, but Excel has proven to be much better than what I expected from them in the beginning of the year. It seems like Youngbuck is really stepping that team, or having that team play a lot better than I'm pretty sure most of us thought. I can't believe a team with like Mickey and Accept are like performing as well as they are. Patrick and Torre have been very, very good signings for them on Excel. Then, of course, we have SO4, who did go and beat. They had 1 win this week against Vitality, which is not super. And then they lost to Excel, like we said. I really thought they were going to win that one. But then SK Gaming lost to Vitality. First team to lose to Vitality. They've dropped to number 10. I'm so upset. I really thought that it was in the bag for them to beat Vitality, but they couldn't even do that. So this team along with Vitality are like my bottom tier teams this year. I believe I actually had SK as my worst team in the league coming in to preseason, so I'm kind of justified in putting them back here now 5 weeks in. Oh man, it's gonna be a short one. This is gonna be a 15-minute podcast here, but I'm sure you can tell why. By watching this video, I'm sure you can see why I didn't have the podcast yesterday and why I'm having a very quick one today. I'm very proud that I have not sneezed. Like, I've coughed a few times, but I'm not kidding. It was literally 47 sneezes in under 10 minutes. Like, I thought my heart was gonna, like, don't they say like your heart like stops every time you sneeze or something like that? I thought I was gonna die. It was just non-stop sneezing, and I was like, man, is there anything like blocking my nose? Because like usually you're sneezing because you want something to come out of your nose. No, like, it was clean. I could breathe at that point because I had sneezed so much that so much like gunk has come out. Sorry, that's probably really gross to talk about. Anyway, let's go over our predictions. Our predictions this week. Oh wow, we don't have a circle on one of them. Whoopsies. And EU prediction. Webcam, nope. Green circle there. Look at that one hiding right there. There's one hiding under the webcam, and there it is. We're gonna go put that over to Origin. First game. If I do not go 8-2 this week, I want an 8-2 week. Not even kidding. I think that is the minimum I should be able to go this week because almost all of these games should be very easy. This is a very easy week for predictions, and you could clip this if you want. You could take like if this week starts to be tons of upsets. No, this should be the make or break week for almost all the teams that are in the playoffs, in the playoff hunt. The 7 teams in the playoff hunt. Rogue versus Excel. I think that Rogue and Mad Lions, they both face Excel this week. I think Excel goes 0-2, and because I don't believe Excel is the team in the play. They are in the playoff hunt, definitely. They're, like I said, 2 games out of first place, but I think they are the pretenders of the 6 team. Where I see EU has 6 really good teams, I think that Excel is the team looking on the outside there, and that's not just because they're 5-5. I just think that Rogue and Mad Lions are way closer to Origin, Misfits, G2, Fnatic than Excel is to Rogue and Mad Lions. So I have Rogue winning there. Mad Lions should absolutely be able to take down Vitality, even though Vitality is coming on a win streak finally. Their win was against Excel or SK, and that's not a mighty strong win. Finally, a very tough match. There are 2 tough matches this week. That's why I said 8-2. There are 2 tough predictions this week. Misfits versus Fnatic and Rogue versus Origin. Misfits, I'm going to say I'm dropping them one more time. I think if they can prove me wrong here, if they beat Fnatic, I know for sure they're going to beat SK, which I have up here. And then next week, they're for sure going to beat Excel, in my opinion, because I think this is the week Excel crumbles out of the playoff race, and we just have a 6-team race, kind of just racing for positioning after this. And if Misfits is able to take down Fnatic this week or Origin next week, only one. They only have to take one. I will absolutely believe this team is a top 3 team in EU for sure, possibly top 2. SO4 versus Origin, that should be very easy. Like I said before, like the previous one, Mad Lions Vitality, there shouldn't be any issues there. G2 versus SK, same exact thing. This is a perfect week for G2. They play the last game of the day, both days. But they are going to absolutely, and it's against the 2 worst teams in the league of SK and Vitality. Huge, easy bounce back week for G2. Misfits over SK. That's if Misfits can't beat SK, if they drop to that, they're dead to me at that point. There should be no big deal. Mad Lions over Excel. Like I said, I think this is the week that Excel finally crumbles. Fnatic over SO4, very easy. Very tough game between Origin and Rogue. I think this will be my issue is that I don't think Origin has to prepare really at all for SO4 compared to Rogue actually having to prepare a little bit for Excel. So, and then I think Origin just overall, I think their bot lane between Hansama and Vander isn't as good as Upset and Destiny, and I think that even though I really like Larson and the Nuke Duck, I think Nuke Duck can lose gracefully. That Larson won't be able to become hyper fed, and Alfari versus Finn is going to be a very good matchup up top. as well. I don't think that or Rogue is going to be able to take any advantage of Larson and Finn getting massive leads early on, and because I think Newt Duck and Alfari are just good enough players that if they lose the lane, if they win the lane, fine, but if they lose the lane, they're not going to lose in a way that the other opponents are going to snowball. And the same with G2 over Vitality. That one's going to be quite easy. There's 4 games to even worry about. There should be 6 absolute 100% shoo-ins. The 4 games to worry about is the 2 Excel games. If I'm wrong, both of my predictions are coming off of the understanding that Excel is going to crumble and not be the real team and not be a real contender. So if that doesn't happen, those 2 games are in jeopardy between Rogue and Mad Lions. And Mad Lions are Misfits Fanatics a toss-up, and Rogue and Origins a toss-up. Outside of that, you have Mad Lions Vitality should be an automatic win. Origin SO4 automatic win. G2 SK automatic win. Misfits SK automatic win. And G2 Vitality automatic win. And Fnatic SO4. So every one of these teams, there's not the 3 bottom teams don't face each other this week. So that's 6 free wins for the rest of the league. And that's probably why I think this week should be a very easy week for predictions. Could even be a 10-0. I don't think we have too many coin flippy games. Never had a 10-0 still. I had 9-1 last week with NA. I had an 8-2 to start the year on this one for EU. But anything, I'll accept a 7-3. But my reality is I literally think an 8-2 the week should be on the table here. No big deal. Yeah, I think that might be it for this podcast. Only 17 minutes. I went past the 15-minute mark at least. Only 17 minutes. It's a very quick one. I'm so sorry, guys. That I wish I could go into more detail, but it's been hell. Last week was Smash Tournament, so I didn't get I only got to watch some highlights from EU. I did watch a little bit of NA, but then I only got highlights from EU and Korea and stuff like that. But and now this week I've just been sick, so at least I could Saturday I should probably just be laying in bed all day and just watching a bunch of League. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. So hopefully we'll be able to catch up on everything, because even I haven't watched any Korean League yet this week, and so I am well behind on a lot of things. But with that, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you're still watching with my voice being all crap, I'm very proud I didn't cough. I coughed a little. I didn't sneeze or have a running nose or have to blow my nose in the middle of this podcast. I've been trying to hold it in. My throat is actually getting better, so I'm hoping that means progress, because the last 3 days my throat was getting really bad, and then today I woke up and it was totally fine, but now I'm just all congested. So hopefully by next podcast on Monday, we should be right as rain. Everything should be back to normal. I hope we're back to getting to watch all the games again. Everything great in the world, and we can just obsessively. It's like Season 10 has been terrible. Outside of making the new podcast format, which we haven't even been able to use from some because I've just been so busy or sick. That's been the last 2 weeks. Busy and sick constantly. But yeah. Outside of that, it's been a terrible year for me. Been a terrible year for Riot. My year's actually been okay. but just in a league, looking at league alone, and just professional league in general, been very boring for the most part. I missed my LPL. I saw the screenshot the other today. We had 60 kills in a 20-minute match from LPL or something insane. Why isn't that? I know exactly why. It totally makes sense. But I want that back in my life. I just want that. I want that back because I think teams have lost their way. They don't have the LPL to look at right now, and so they don't know how to play aggressive anymore. They're trying to revert back, and I don't want teams to revert back. There's a new dawn. We're losing our people. We gotta bring people back to the reality that fast, hyper-paced league, hyper-aggression league is the way to go. You don't sitting around for dragons and stuff. No, you don't need the dragons. You don't need them. I actually don't think dragons are nearly as important as people initially thought they were going to be this year. I think turret plates and gold advantage is a lot more important. But with that, we've rambled enough. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We rambled it up to a 20-minute podcast. That's okay. I appreciate the views that you guys give, and hopefully by next week everything will be back to normal. I'll be able to talk a lot more. I won't be sick, and we'll have a lot more in-depth analysis of the games. But with that being said, I'm going to